Hare Krishna. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Givaradhari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Givaradhari Yashodanandana Vrajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Radha Gopi Jana Vallabh Radha Gopi Jana Vallabh Radhe. Jaya Nitai Patita Pavan Gaura Hari Jaya Nitai Patita Pavan Gaura Hari. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. जय श्री राधा गोपी जन भगवान की निताय पति पावन गौर की श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। हरे कृष्ण। Once again, welcome to Srimad Bhagavatam discussion Sunday morning. We will be reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 19, Text 27. And the topic is going on, Prithu Maharaj performing the fire sacrifice, the Ashwamedh Yajna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottama Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishti Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate Yatkripatamaham vande Shri Guru Dinataram Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatari Namo Mahavidanyaya Krishna Prema Prathayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurachay Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakhram Namami Bhaktashaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamam Mundare च कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So we are reading Canto 4, Chapter 19, Text 27. तं ऋत्विजः शक्रवद्धा अभिसन्धितम् विचक्ष्य दुष्प्रेक्ष्यम् असह्यरंहसम् निवारयामसुरहो महामते न युज्यते अत्रान्यवधा प्रचोदिता। तमरिद्विजः शक्रवधा अभिसन्धितम् विचक्षया दुष्प्रेक्षयम् असह्यारंहसम् निवारयामसुरहो महामते न युज्यते अत्रान्यवधा प्रचोदिता। What do you say? तमरिद्विजः शक्रवधा अभिसन्धितम् विचक्षया दुष्प्रेक्षयम् असह्यारंहसम् निवारयामसुरहो मते न युज्यते यत्रान्यवधा प्रचोदिता। Okay. Word to meaning. Tam, King Prithu, Ritvija, the priest, Shakravada, killing the king of heaven, Abhisandhitam, thus preparing himself, Vichakshaya, having observed, Dushprekshayam, terrible to look at, Asahaya, unbearable, Ramhasam, whose velocity, Nivarayam aso, they forbade, Aho, O Mahamate, O great soul, no, not, Yujjate, is worthy for you. Atra, in this sacrificial area, Anya, others, Vada, killing, Prachodita, from being so directed in the scriptures. Translation. When the priests and others When the priest and all the others saw Maharaj Prithu was angry, Maharaj Prithu very angry and prepared to kill Indra, they requested him, "O great soul, do not kill him, for only sacrificial animals can be killed in a sacrifice. Such are the directions given by Shastra." Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Animal killing is intended for different purposes. It tests the proper pronunciation of Vedic mantras, and an animal being put into sacrificial fire should come out with a new life. No one should ever be killed in a sacrifice meant for the satisfaction of Lord Vishnu. How then could Indra be killed when he is actually worshipped in the yajna and accepted as part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of God? Therefore, the priest requested King Prithu not to kill him. Hare Krishna. So, the overall topic is going on. Maharaj Prithu performing the Shamedi Yajna, and he has already performed 99 yajna. Now he is at his century, right, performing his 100th yajna. And Indra, being afraid of Maharaj Prithu performing these yajnas, he steals the horse which is meant for sacrifice. Because when the horse will be stolen, the sacrifice will not be able to complete. So Maharaj Prithu will not be able to complete his 100th yajna. And what is the reason Indra is so afraid, he's so scared of Maharaj Prithu performing the yajna? Because Indra, he gets afraid for losing his position. So Indra is a position. So Indra is a position, and in every manvantra, these positions change. And there is a name for Indra in actual every manvantra who is occupying the post of Indra. And we know the current Indra, who is the person who is occupying the post of Indra. What is his name? Purandar. So the current Indra, the name of current Indra actually is Purandar. But we generally refer to him as Indra because that is the name of the post, the name of the position. Just like we say Mr. Prime Minister. Okay, so there is somebody who is occupying the post of Prime Minister, but it is addressed as Prime Minister is coming today. So same way, there is a person who is occupying the post of Indra. Current Indra is Purandar. At the time of Maharaj Prithu, who is performing this whole Ashwamedh Yajna, at that time, the person who is occupying the post of Indra, what is the name of that person? Shakra. Right, because it's a different mantra. So the person who is occupying the post of Indra at that time, his name is Shakra. And actually these names are based on the activities they perform. Okay, not really just randomly some name is given, but the name is awarded based on what kind of activities that person has performed. So because Indra, the person who is occupying the post of Indra, has performed 100 Ashwamedh Yajna, and that is why his name is actually Shakra. So here the word used is Shakravadha, killing of Indra, king of heaven. So Maharaj Prithu, he is performing this yajna, his horse is stolen again and again. Son of Maharaj Prithu, he chases Indra because he comes always in a different getup, different costume, different form. Right? He takes up a different form, assumes a different form, sometimes as a brahmana, sometimes as a sannyasi. So he comes and steals this horse. And he chases Indra, brings the horse back. And when Maharaj Pitu come to know that who is doing all this nonsense, stealing this horse, and the son of Maharaj Pitu tells, actually it is Indra who is doing this mischievous activity. And Prithu asked, did you punish him? Did you kill him for doing this stealing of the horse? He said, no, I did not kill him. I did not punish him. So Maharaj Prithu himself is ready to punish Indra. Actually, he is so angry at Indra and he is ready to kill him. And that is where this verse is speaking about that particular point as Maharaj Pitu, because he is ready to kill Indra. So all the priests who are performing this yajna, Maharaj Pitu is the Yajaman, and all these priests who are performing this yajna, they are instructing Maharaj Pitu, please do not kill Indra. You should not get angry while you have taken this vow of performing the yajna, because if somebody is inflicted with anger while observing this ritualistic activity, this yajna, that is not a good mood to perform yajna. And definitely killing of somebody will spoil this yajna. Why? Because only the animal which is meant for sacrifice is authorized to be killed in the yajna, in the sacrifice, but nobody else, especially no other human being can be killed in the yajna. And the purpose, Prabhupada is writing in the purport that in the earlier yugas, there was a mention of performing animal sacrifice. And there was a reason for performing animal sacrifice. Primary one, to test the power of the Brahmanas. Okay? By sacrificing the animal in this fire sacrifice, by chanting the proper mantra with the proper pronunciation, they can uplift that living entity to a higher species of life. Okay, so the animal, the horse, which is sacrificed, he will come out assuming a human form. He will be uplifted to the higher species of life. So that animal also is getting the benefit. And it is testing the power of the Brahmanas. So there was a purpose behind this, but in Kali Yuga, all these activities are forbidden. Okay, yes, on the name of fire sacrifice, a lot of things still go on. People are still performing animal sacrifice, but not really animal sacrifices in the yajna. They are doing whimsical animal slaughter, which is not recommended in the Shastras anywhere. That is why Lord Buddha came, and Lord Buddha even rejected the Vedas. That okay, you are claiming that Vedas are recommending animal sacrifice, so I reject the Vedas. Don't listen to the Vedas, just listen to what I say. Follow that. So Buddha indirectly diverted people from those texts of the Vedas and attracted towards this non-violence philosophy, ahimsa paramo dharma. And we know from the scriptures that there are other instances also when somebody has tried to perform the fire sacrifice, and if the other person, some other living entity is killed in that fire sacrifice, the fire sacrifice is completely spoiled. Can you think of any other example from the scriptures? Daksha Prajapati, right? So we know the classic example of Daksha Prajapati. Daksha Prajapati is performing this yajna. He has invited everybody but Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva does not come to the fire sacrifice, but Sati, she insists to come to this yajna because she thinks my father is performing yajna, all my relatives, my sisters, everybody is assembling. It will be a good opportunity for me to meet all of my relatives. So she insists and she comes to the yajna, but as seeing the mood of her father, Daksha Prajapati, she understands that Daksha has so much envy towards Lord Shiva, and he is not even giving the share to Lord Shiva in this fire sacrifice. So she gives up her life, but after Lord Shiva comes to know, he sends Veerbhadra along with this whole army of the ghosts and hobgoblins. And what does Veerbhadra do? So Veerbhadra, he tried to kill Daksha himself. And he tried to kill Daksha in so many ways, cutting his head with the sword and all, but fails. Finally, he takes that weapon which is kept for animal sacrifice in that yajna, and he chops off the head of Daksha Prajapati himself. So he sacrifices Daksha himself in his own yajna. So Daksha's head falls into the yajna kunda and the whole yajna is destroyed. Right? So the whole yajna is spoiled. Because in the yajna, one should not commit any violence, especially killing any other living entity. So that is one instance we know from the scriptures. And here the Brahmanas are instructing Prithu Maharaj, please do not take to this anger, please do not commit this activity of killing Indra. And in Brahma Vaivarta Puran, which is actually quoted by Srila Prabhupada in Chaitanya Charitamrita also in Adi Leela, Prabhupada talks about the 5 things which are actually forbidden in Kali Yuga. And what are these 5 things which are forbidden in Kali Yuga? Even though, yes, there is a mention of Ashwamedh Yajna, we know Prithu Maharaj was doing Ashwamedh Yajna, even Lord Ramachandra performed Ashwamedh Yajna. So there is a mention of Ashwamedh Yajna and other animal sacrifices mentioned in the scriptures. But all these things are based on particular time, place, circumstance. It does not apply to all the yugas. So one should try to understand the context. If we just read the text without understanding the context, then it may lead to a lot of misunderstandings. So the context is also very important. So Prabhupada actually quotes in Adi Leela Chaitanya Charitamrita that Ashamedham Gavalambham Sanyasam Palapaitrikam Devrena Sutotpattim Kalau Pancha Vivarjayet. So these 5 activities are forbidden in Kali Yuga. Kalau Pancha Vivarjayet. What are these 5 activities? Ashwamedh Yajna. Performing Ashwamedh Yajna, sacrificing the horse in the fire sacrifice is forbidden in Kali Yuga. One should not perform that. And Gavalambham, even offering of a cow in sacrifice, that cannot be done in Kali Yuga. Sannyasam, acceptance of the order of sannyas is not really recommended in Kali Yuga. And then we may say, okay, but in ISKCON we see so many sannyasis, right? The sannyas order is awarded. There is a difference. We should understand what is the purpose of this sannyas and what is the reference to sannyas which is forbidden in Kali Yuga. That is this taking of Mayavad sannyas. That is completely forbidden. And the sannyas which is still accepted in our sampradaya, in our ISKCON parampara, that is a Vaishnava sannyas for the main purpose of preaching. Okay, it's not that somebody takes sannyas and just goes to the Himalayas and think, okay, I have given up everything, all the worldly responsibilities and worldly attachments. So that type of sannyas is not really recommended in Kali Yuga. And then Palapetrikam, offering of flesh to the forefathers in the Pinda, offering of oblation of flesh to the forefathers. Sometimes people perform this Pindadan or the Shraddha ceremony and they think, okay, we want to offer to our forefathers what they like to eat. If my father liked mutton and all, so I will offer that in the Shraddha and Pinda ceremony. It's a complete misunderstanding. What should be offered to the forefathers is the prasad of the Lord. So offer the bhoga to the Supreme Lord and those remnants as prasad to be offered to the forefathers, which can help their upliftment, which can help them to go upward from wherever, whichever conditions of life they are. So this offering of flesh as oblation to the forefathers is forbidden. Then Devrena Sutotpattim, begetting children with the help of husband's younger brother if the husband has died. In the earlier yugas, this system, this culture was there, which is called niyoga. That if the husband has died prematurely and there is no heir, and the younger brother of the husband could remarry the wife of his brother and then beget children. So that system was there, but in Kali Yuga, it is completely forbidden. And we know in Mahabharata, this particular Niyoga process is followed. Right? When Vyasadeva is called, first Satyavati actually asked Bhishma Deva to beget children through Through whom? Ambika and Ambalika. And then when Bhishma Deva rejects this proposal, then Vyasadeva is called. And we know how Dhritarashtra and Pandu were born, and even Vyasadeva. So this system was there earlier, and it was meant for just for producing children who could continue this lineage. But in Kali Yuga, that process is completely forbidden because the mentality, the consciousness is so polluted that one mainly focuses only on the sense gratification, not on the higher dharma. So these five things are completely forbidden in Kali Yuga, and this Ashwamedh Yajna sacrifice is not recommended. And Prabhupada is quoting in the purport, in the previous yugas, that Paddhati, that system was there for a particular purpose. And that purpose was to test the power of the Brahmanas. The Brahmanas were so powerful, actually, they could ignite the fire by chanting the mantras. Right? But in Kali Yuga, do we have any such Brahmana who could ignite fire by chanting the mantras? Do we have any pure Brahmanas? Do we have even the pure ingredients for performing yajnas? So in Kali Yuga, this system of yajna is not possible. And actually, it is said in the previous yugas, the things were done by chanting of the mantras. Right? They could perform many tasks by just performing of mantras. Then later the mantras were replaced by tantra. And then the tantra was replaced by yantra. Right? Now we have all sort of machineries. We have matchsticks and lighters to ignite fire. So mantra, then tantra, then came yantra. And in Kali Yuga, there's only Shadyantra. And there are so many conspiracies happen, so many Shadyantras happen, how to put other person down. So Kali Yuga is full of Shadyantras only. So in Kali Yuga, there is a particular system to be followed, which is the Nam Yajna, the Nam Sankirtan, the chanting of the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Because in chanting of the mantra, in chanting of the holy name, Nam, Nam Jap and recitation of mantra are two different things. When we chant the Mahamantra, in the chanting of Mahamantra, there are no particular rules and regulation. There is no particular consideration of the right pronunciation also. And there is no consideration of the time and place where you are chanting the mantra, where are you chanting the name. But in the recitation of the Vedic mantras, there are a lot of rules and regulation which one need to follow. So that is why in Kali Yuga, the main focus is on the holy name, directly chanting the names of the Lord. In the pronunciation of Vedic mantras, recitation of the mantras, if somebody performs any mistake, a mistake in the pronunciation also, it can give a counter result. So somebody is performing the yajna, and while performing the yajna for the benefit of the yajman, if the Brahmana chanted the mantra a little wrong, he pronounced some words a little wrong, rather than doing the benefit of yajman, it could do harm to the yajman. Okay? Or to the person who is performing the yajna himself. And there is an example from the Bhakshimad Bhagavatam on that lines also. You know what that example is? The appearance of Vritrasura. So Tushta is performing yajna for the purpose of producing a personality who will kill Indra. Right? That was his mood. That was his intention of performing this yajnas. And he is chanting these mantras. He is doing the oblations in the fire sacrifice while chanting this mantra, and he pronounced the words wrong. Kahin meter kuch thoda gadbad ho gaya. Okay, while pronouncing, and it changed the whole meaning of the mantra. One word changed, and it changed the whole meaning of the mantra. And what was the result? Yes, the personality appeared, but rather than he killing Indra, Indra killed him. So Krishna wanted to chant the mantra that let the personality come out who will be the enemy of Indra and who will kill Indra. Rather than the meaning became whose enemy will be Indra and who will be killed by Indra. Okay, so it is in Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th canto, 6, 9, 11, where Tushta, while offering the oblation in the fire sacrifice, he chants this mantra. Hatah putras tatastishta juhuve indraya shatrave indra shatro vivardhasva ma chiram jahi vidvisam. So the whole meaning was he wanted to say, let the personality come out who will be the enemy of Indra and who will kill Indra. Rather, the meaning changed. Indra shatro vivardhasva. Indra will be his enemies and he will be killed by Indra. So that is why while chanting the mantras, while offering the oblations and the sacrifice, the pronunciation need to be perfect. And in Kali Yuga, it's not possible to find that caliber of brahmanas, that purity of the ingredients. So in Kali Yuga, it's not even recommended to perform these fire sacrifices, these yajnas. The main recommended method is just the chanting of the holy name. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, the last verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, it glorifies the holy name. Nam Sankirtanam Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam Pranamo Dukha Shamanam Tam Namami Harim Param. The two things which are mentioned here are very significant. Nam Sankirtanam Yasya. By chanting the holy name of the Lord, Sarva Papa Pranashanam, all the sins are destroyed. Pranamo Dukha Shamanas. And by offering obeisances to that Lord, all the miseries are removed. Namami Harim Param. I pay obeisances to that Supreme God. So whose holy name is so powerful and offering obeisances to him is so powerful. So everybody in this world, they want to get rid of misery and everybody want to relieve their sinful reaction. सबको किस चीज का भय है? Everybody is afraid of their own karma, their sinful reaction, right? What reaction will come? So how can we get rid of the sinful reaction? How we can get rid of misery? By just chanting the name of the Lord, by offering obeisances to the Lord. See, it is described when we come and pay obeisances to the Lord, all the burden on the head, when you bow down your head, whatever is sitting on your head, right? All this sinful reaction, all this burden of misery, whatever is sitting on your head, when you bow down, when you pay obeisances, all that what is lying on your head just falls down. Right? So that is the importance of coming and offering obeisances to the Lord, just taking the darshan and going down in front of the Lord, chanting the holy name. So this whole yajna paddhati, in Prithu Maharaj's case, when he's performing these yajnas, these brahmanas are actually instructing Prithu Maharaj not to get angry and not to kill Indra. So another very significant point actually for us to understand, to learn from this is following the instructions of the superiors, following the instructions of the brahmanas, especially for the kshatriyas will perform their activities by taking advice from the brahmanas, from the sages. Even in many cases, when the brahmanas, some sages appear in the court, in the assembly, the king will get up from his position, from his throne. He will get down from the throne and have the sage occupy his throne. And then he will say, I offer my whole kingdom to you. Now you please instruct me. So the sages, they will give good counsel, they will give advice. And it's not that the sages, the brahmanas are attached to the kingdom. They say, no, that we cannot take care of this kingdom. We cannot rule this kingdom. Our job, our occupation is yajan, jajan, patan, patan. Right? That is our duty, to perform yajnas, to give teachings, give education. So they will occupy the throne for time being, give message, give the instructions, and then they will leave. Okay, you please continue. You rule by following these instructions. So for the Kshatriyas, for the king, it was very important to understand, to respect the Brahmanas and follow their instructions. And in Ramayana also, we see Lord Ramachandra, especially the whole Uttarkand of Ramayana, is full with the narrations. At different times, different sages come to take darshan of Lord Ram, to talk to him. And Lord Ramachandra receives all these brahmanas, all these sadhus, and there are a lot of discussions. So Lord Ram will have a lot of discussion with these sages, and he will serve them nicely. So Lord Ramachandra also exemplifies that mood of respecting the brahmanas, respecting the sages, serving them. As Shri Ram Navami is coming, the appearance day of Lord Ramachandra. So I thought I can start a little connect back to little bit from the Ramayana also. Anyways, we are starting this Ramakatha series from today evening. So I thought I can maybe just build upon that, because in this particular series, I was inspired to speak mainly from one particular kand of Ramayana, which is the middle section of Ramayana, exact the middle section, the fourth kand. There are total 7 kand in Ramayana, and the fourth one is Kishkinda kand. Somehow, I really like Kishkinda kand because for a particular reason it relates to the living entity. It shows us the real mirror, what the living entity's mindset is. So this Kishkinda kand is in the middle of the Ramayana. So we'll be talking on that one, but I thought I will do a little bit background foundation of Ramayana before we start that Kishkinda kand today evening. So in Ramayana, what is described here is, we know Lord Ramachandra also performed yagyas. And in Ramayana, there are 4 tattvas. Ramayana. So there are 4 tattvas in Ramayana. Ra means Lord Ramachandra. Ram. So everywhere in Ramayana is reference to Lord Ram. No matter which page you open of Ramayana, you will read the name Ram, right? So yahi mahad adi madhya avasana Prabhu pratipadya Ram Bhagavana. So you open the first page, last page, middle page, first line, last line, wherever you open, Prabhu Pratipadya Rama Bhagavana. So Lord Ramachandra is established in Ramayana. So the first tattva is Lord Ramachandra. Ma means mother, and it refers to Mother Sita. Yes, there are many other mothers also in Ramayana. Mother Kaushalya, Mother Sumitra, Mother Kekai, Mother Anusuya, Mother Tara, Mother Trijata, Mother Mandodari. So there are so many glorious mothers are mentioned, but specifically it talks about Mata Sita. And Valmiki ji composed Ramayana, and Valmiki ji is writing, actually, I am writing the glories of Mother Sita. Right? So this whole Ramayana is about Sita Devi, her pastimes. Kavyam Ramayanam Kritsram Sitayas Charitam Mahat. So that is what Valmiki ji is describing. Sitayas Charitam Mahat. So Ra refers to Lord Ramachandra, Ma refers to Mother Sita, Ya, Ramaya, Ya in Ramayana relates to the third tattva, which is Yajna. So in Ramayana, our whole Vedic Sanskriti is signified here. Lord Ramachandra, how did Lord Ramachandra appear? By the performance of Yajna. Dashrath Maharaj first performed Ashwamedh Yajna, then he performed Putrakameshri Yajna. So that is how Lord Ramachandra appeared. How did Mother Sita appear? Janak Maharaj performed Yajna, and as part of performance of Yajna, Janak Maharaj was plowing the land. And in the plowing of the land, the pot came out where Mother Sita was found. Okay? So here refers to the Sanskriti of Yajna. Actually, not only Yajna, it refers to the Rishi Sanskriti and Trishi Sanskriti. a rishi, because rishis are important for performing yajna. And plowing the land refers to agriculture, krishi. So it refers to both rishi sanskriti and krishi sanskriti, and both are yajna. So here refers to yajna. Lord Ramachandra himself performed many yajnas, and Lord Ramachandra destroyed the yajna also. He destroyed the yajna of Meghanath. So in that way, we see there are references to so many yajnas in Ramayana. And na, Ramayana, na is taken from Ravana. Not become like Ravana. Because if you become like Ravana, taking to that type of activities which Ravana was doing, stealing, kidnapping, encroaching upon others' property, what will happen? No matter how powerful you are, no matter how opulent you are, everything will be destroyed. So not become Ravana. Na. So in Ramayana, there are four tattvas, and this whole Ramayana is revolving around that. So in case of Ravana, what was the situation? रावण का जो चित्र था वो तो बहुत अच्छा था, पर रावण का जो चरित्र था वो अच्छा नहीं था. So चित्र तो अच्छा था पर चरित्र अच्छा नहीं था. And that is what we need to understand. Don't run behind the external appearance only. We need to understand what is the real qualities the person possesses, not just their external appearance. And in today's world, everybody thinks I am Ram, other person is Ravana. Everybody thinks himself to be Ram. Inside the heart, there may be Ravana-like mentality, Ravana-like tendency, but everybody thinks himself to be Ram and other person to be Ravana. And these days, people are only focused on Chitra, not Charitra. In the marriage ceremony or while making the marriage ties, relationships, what is focused? What they focus on? How the person looks, देखने में कैसा है, सुंदर है. So for the girl, they look at chamadi, if the girl is beautiful or not. For the boy, they look at damadi. माल है कि नहीं है, माल होना चाहिए. So people are only looking at the externals, not looking at the internal characteristic, internal qualities of the person. Ravana also was very handsome actually. In some of the serials and all, Ravana may be portrayed with not very handsome looking or whatever way they may portray, but Ravana was very handsome. Hiranyakashipu was very handsome. So it's not about only Chitra, it's all about Charitra. So that is what message of Ramayana is, to look for the inner qualities of that person. And when we hear this Harikatha, when we hear Bhagavatam, when we hear Ramayana, when we hear Krishna Katha, what is the ultimate purpose? What is the purpose? Why we are hearing Krishna Katha? Why we are hearing Bhagavad Katha?
To develop those characteristics.
To develop those characteristics, to become very simple-hearted, Saral Banna. And this is described in many places. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, the one of the good quality in a sadhaka or in a devotee is simple at heart. Arjavam. I think that is the word used, Arjavam, simple. So becoming simple at heart. It's very easy to become hard-hearted, but it's very difficult to become simple-hearted. What is the meaning of simple-hearted? We say सरल बनना चाहिए, सरल बनना चाहिए. That is the Hindi word. सरल. व्यक्ति को सरल बनना चाहिए, भक्त को सरल होना चाहिए. What is the meaning of becoming simple-hearted?
Yeah, let go of anger, lust, greed, envy, and pride.
Let go of anger, lust, greed, and pride. And I will take the last word, most important. not getting influenced by pride, man, abhiman. As we progress in spiritual life, as we start to get little recognition, actually that is what comes. Pride, abhiman. Now I'm a senior devotee. Now I'm somebody. I'm somebody. And others should respect me. So if somebody is able to digest that respect, that honor, that is really becoming simple-hearted. Simple-hearted does not mean external show of humility. So simple-hearted is not external show of humility. Somebody may say, I sit in the back only. मैं तो पीछे बैठता हूँ. It's okay. I can just sit in the back. Oh, I can sit on the floor. I don't need chair. I'm okay. So these things, this is good. But just external show of these things doesn't mean simplicity of heart. Somebody may be doing those externally, but when the honor comes, when the respect comes, are we able to digest those things? Or that bubble of pride is bubbling up now in the heart. So it's very easy to become hard-hearted, but it's very difficult to become simple-hearted. And one of the qualities of Lord Ramachandra, what is described in the glorification of Lord Ramachandra, if I have to describe Lord Ramachandra in one sentence, okay, describe who is Lord Ramachandra, what will you say? Maryada Purushottam, right? That is the word which comes first in mind, Maryada Purushottam. And what is the meaning of Maryada Purushottam? Understanding Maryada in every aspect, in every relationship. So one single line which describes the qualities of Lord Ramachandra, it says, गए बहोर गरीब ने बाजू सरल सबल साहिब रघुराजू. In one single line, it describes the qualities of Lord Ramachandra. Gai Bahor, one who can bring up what we have lost. Garib Nevaju, who is the shelter of the meek and humble. Saral, so pay attention to the word. Saral, it is described as the quality of Lord Ramachandra. He is very simple. He is very simple. One of the meaning of simple is also who is very approachable. Okay, people are very happy to approach that person. They don't fear or afraid of approaching the person. Okay. So he's very accessible. As we were talking in Uttarakhand or Ramachandra, he meets so many sages and brahmanas. Anybody is welcome to come in front of him to speak about his problems. So he's very accessible, very simple-hearted, saral, sabal. He is very capable. He is capable of everything. In one single arrow, he shot the 7 tala vriksha. All these 7 trees were pierced through the arrow, went under into Patal, then come out and again gets into the quiver of Lord Ramachandra. So in one single shot, he pierced the 7 tala vriksha. Not that the 7 tala vrikshas were in single line, straight line. These 7 tala tree were in a semicircle position. Can somebody pierce 7 trees which are in a semicircle position? If it were in one single straight line, one can say, okay, the arrow was shot so forcefully that it just pierced through all 7 in a straight line. But no, those 7 trees were in a semicircle position. And then Lord Ramachandra single-handedly he destroyed 14,000 Rakshasas, the whole army of Karalushan, single-handedly. And he is very capable. Sabala, he is capable of doing everything. Sahib Raghuraju, and he is the Lord and Master of the Raghu dynasty. So in one single line, it describes the qualities of Lord Ramachandra or his position, his supremacy. The Lord Ramachandra, he is capable of bringing whatever is lost. And what is lost? What do we have lost? We have lost our relation with the Supreme God. We have lost bhakti. And we have lost our peace. We have lost our happiness. And Lord Ram, he is capable of bringing back what we have lost. And he's very simple-hearted, he's very easily approachable. So when we talk about becoming simple-hearted, it is becoming capable of absorbing or tolerating this honor, this pride when it comes, not just external show of humility. And all of us are in a, at some point of time in our lives, maybe we are in a role where we have to deal with other people, right? We have to deal with other people, either in your work environment or in temple or wherever you are in life. You have to deal with other people. You are not that, okay, I'm the only person and I'm completely disconnected from everybody, all the social system and everything. We have to deal with people. And when we deal with people, we have to understand their mood and work with them accordingly. Especially now, if somebody is in a leadership position, because Lord Ramachandra, he was a leader, he was in a leadership position. So, in a leadership position, one need to understand how to deal with other people, how to empower other people. Leadership is not about using people to get the best out of them, to extract the best out of them. But leadership means giving them the environment so they will be happy to give their best. That is leadership. Leadership doesn't mean just using people as resource. Leadership means considering people as people, not considering people as resource. And what are the great qualities of leadership or teamwork? Because no matter where you are, you have to deal with other people, you have to work in a team environment. So, what are the qualities that we need to have to be able to work as a team? The first quality which is needed is humility, being humble. And somebody will say, if I'm the team leader, and if I'm always humble in front of my peers, in front of my juniors, how will I get the work done from them? Does humble mean just falling down in front of them, paying that level? And what is the meaning of humble? Humble means when you think more about others, when you take care of others' uh, problems also, others' priorities also. When you think less of yourself and more of others, giving the due credit to the other person. That is humility, giving the due credit to other person. If somebody has done little, giving them the credit according to what they have done. If somebody has done a lot, giving them credit based on what they have done. And Lord Ramachandra, this is what he demonstrates as a leadership quality. While building this Rama Setu, even a squirrel, she was recognized by Lord Ramachandra. Giving the credit to Hanuman for crossing over the ocean and bringing the news of Mother Sita. So leadership quality, one of the main qualities is humility, giving the due credit to others. The another quality of a leadership is being a servant leader. Leadership does not mean just delegating the work. Leadership means showing by your own example, being in the forefront, not in the background. That okay, now I have delegated this work, you take care of this. But the leader demonstrates this quality as being a servant leader. That I am myself in the forefront with you to execute this task. The third quality of the leader is understanding, having emotional intelligence. This is one quality which many times we lack, we ignore to have that quality. Emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, what does it really mean, emotional intelligence? It's not always about executing big tasks. It is about understanding the mood and expression of other person, what is going on inside the heart of other person based on what we say or based on our expression, how the other person is feeling. Or by their expression, I'm trying to understand what is going on in their heart, in their mind. That is called emotional intelligence. And the leader should be able to convey the message without disturbing the person in a best possible way. So giving feedback is also an art. Giving feedback is an art. In our professional lives also, in our work environment also, we are asked to sometimes give feedback and receive feedback. It goes both way. So giving feedback, how do we provide feedback to somebody? If you need to convey some message to somebody, how do we provide that feedback? And understanding from Bhagavad Gita, from Bhagavatam, from Ramayana, there are so many pastimes, and from the life of Srila Prabhupada, how Srila Prabhupada dealt with all these different type of devotees, giving them creative freedom, but at the same time providing the proper feedback in a way that they will be able to give their best. They will be encouraged, inspired to give their best. And not pushing anybody, not forcing anybody to do something, but giving such an environment that they will be inspired to give their best. That is what Srila Prabhupada did. Srila Prabhupada started this whole movement with 40 rupees and he built $1 million empire, right? So many temples, farm communities, thousands of followers, thousands of disciples. How Srila Prabhupada was able to do that? By following the same leadership principles. So one of the quality is to be able to give proper feedback in a way which will further encourage that person. If we see any mistake done by somebody, any fault in somebody, our problem is, I'm speaking for myself, we directly try to jump onto that. Prabhuji, you did this wrong. Why did you do that? Why did you say like this? So we try to just jump directly onto that. But everybody has some good, right? It's not that everybody or somebody is filled with only some negativity or mistakes only. Everybody has some good. Sometimes they make mistake. It could be because of some social background, some cultural background that they behaved or they acted in a particular way. It doesn't make them as a bad person. And how to convey the message, how to give feedback. There is a formula called PFP. Have you heard of this PFP formula? Lord Krishna implements this PFP formula. Lord Ramachandra implements this PFP formula. Srila Prabhupada has implemented this PFP formula. What is that PFP formula? The first P stands for praise. When you want to give feedback, you call that person or that person comes to you and you start directly giving them feedback. Oh, you did this, it was not appropriate. Rather than that, starting with first praise. Oh, I really like this about you. Okay, you really have this good strength that you can do this task very nicely. So first starting with praise, then providing the feedback, saying, I want to express something which I have observed, and I feel if you can improve on that, that will serve you good in your future years. Okay, so speaking in that way and providing the feedback, so the other person will be very receptive to that. Rather than directly jumping on to finding mistakes and analyzing and all that, first offering some praise, then giving feedback, and then the last P is again praise, ending the loop again with praise. If you started with feedback, directly pointing out to the mistake, no matter how much praise you do at the end, all is waste because you have lost that rapport. We have lost that building that relation, that reputation. But if we start with offering praise and then giving feedback in a way that, okay, I am just mentioning this, I'm telling this so that you can further improve, you can further do the best, and then again ending the loop with the praise. So only FP formula doesn't work. It has to be PFP formula. And Lord Krishna does the same thing in Bhagavad Gita. When Arjuna says, I don't want to fight, Lord Krishna, before chastising Arjuna, he prays first. Bharatarashva, Kaunteya, you are coming from such great lineage. Then he says, how did this impurity come into you? So first he praises, he glorifies based on his family lineage. Then he talks about what is his weakness, and then he again glorifies. Lord Ramachandra, he wanted to chastise Sugriva. First, he praised him. Then he gave the feedback in terms of his chastisement, and then he again praised. So that is what we need to learn from the scripture, how we can implement in our spiritual lives also. If we want to really progress in spiritual life, developing that relationship with the Lord, then the biggest quality which we need to cultivate is becoming saral. Sometimes we sit in the class, and rather than trying to relish the class, the whole mind is going in analyzing the class. What this person is speaking. Is this really uh, the quotes which is mentioned by Prabhupada? Did Prabhupada really ever speak on this one? Did Prabhupada really say this one? So our whole intention is sometimes in analyzing rather than trying to relish. So is that really becoming simple hearted, Saral? Or is it really that we are somewhere becoming hard hearted? We have taken it as an authority that, okay, my job is to find the mistake and then convey the mistakes only. Lord Ram's Katha, Krishna Katha, it is in so it's vast, it's a big ocean. No matter how much deep dive you into that ocean, it's never ending. There's no end to that. And our purpose of engaging in this Krishna Katha is to find that happiness in that Krishna Katha, to relish that, not getting into this analyzing mentality. Or sometimes it also happens when we hear something, say, ये प्रभु जी ने ये point बोला ना, ये उस devotee के ऊपर पूरा fit बैठता है. This is for him only. We don't think this is for me. We think this is for other person. He should understand this. He should take a lesson from this. Not for me. I'm really very advanced. So hearing Bhagavad, hearing Ramkatha, Krishna Katha with an open mind, with the mood to relish that, to learn from it, and how we can progress towards the Lord, how we can develop our devotion a little stronger. We are all called Gaudiya Vaishnavas, right? Rather than becoming Gaudiya Vaishnavas, sometimes we become Gudiya Vaishnavas. Our bhakti is only like a little baby, a Gudiya. Our bhakti has not even come to the teenage yet, and it has not come to the level of becoming mature, paripakva, जिसको बोलते हैं. So it's only at a Gudiya level. Rather than becoming Gaudiya Vaishnavas, we are becoming Gudiya Vaishnavas. Again, I'm speaking for myself because sometimes this mentality comes many times when hearing somebody, and rather than analyzing, rather than being in the role of just trying to find the problems, the mistakes, and taking the role of conveying those, trying to relish that and absorb ourselves in the glories of the Lord. If we are able to do that, then we can really become simple hearted and progress in bhakti by giving up this external show of humility. And remember this formula in the leadership principle, the PFP formula. Yes, we all at some point of time we are in a role where we give feedback to others. But how to give feedback to others so that the other person doesn't feel bad and at the same time he rather actually becomes more inspired to do his best. Okay, so coming back to this topic here now, this verse, as we discussed, Prithu Maharaj is given this advice by the Brahmanas not to kill Indra, and it is a very important principle that for the king to act based on the advice by the Brahmanas, by the mantris. The name mantri is actually significant. It comes from the word mantrana. Okay, who are the chosen class of people to do mantrana, okay, to this discussion, so that the leader, the king, could act in a proper way. So with that, I will stop here. Grantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anybody has any questions, reflections, comments? No means not becoming Ravana. No, don't behave like Ravana. Hare Krishna. Anybody on Zoom has any comments, questions? Not? Thank you very much for joining. We'll end it here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Amazing class, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you, Pranam.
Thank you, Dandavat.